Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. So I've been playing with the new Sony a65. As I mentioned in my unboxed video, I picked up the a65 after playing with it in the store and I was quite impressed. I have the Sony 16-50 f2.8 SSM lens on here, and so far for the playing around I've been doing with it and the initial photos and whatnot, very impressed with the camera. Really like the new lens. I have yet to do some more extensive testing. I know Michael Reichman had talked about possible issues with the decentering or whatnot on the lens, where one side might be slightly sharper than the other. So I want to test my lens to make sure that, because in real world shooting situations that's very hard to see. You kind of do have to run a test. But so far, very impressed with it. Now, I'm actually considering now shooting Sony this year, moving away from Nikon for a year just to change things up and to see how I like shooting Sony. So I have the a65, and of course the big question is, would I want to shoot the a77? Would that be more preferable as a pro shooting? I am leaning towards the smaller bodies, so I'm really liking the a65 for size and for weight and whatnot. The big thing, I guess, is the reasons why I might still want the a77 over the a65, which may be important to me. And from what I can see, there's 4 of them. I'm going to go through the 4 reasons I may want the a77 over the 65, but you can let me know if there's any more, or if you don't think the ones I'm pointing out really will be an issue, or what your feelings are. You know, if you're looking at upgrading or buying one of these, which way you would go. The big thing here in Canada is you can pick one of these up for just over $1,000, the a65, and you're looking at about $1,500 for the a77, which at the moment is out of stock. It's not available yet, and I think that's due to the flooding issues in Thailand. So the big four for me is, the first one is possibly a better focus system on the a77. As far as specs go, yes, it's definitely a better focus system. When I say possibly, I mean for my way of shooting, I'm typically a center focus shooter. Will it make a big difference? The a77 has more cross-type sensors in it and more sensors altogether, if I remember correctly. So that may be something I want there. It may actually give me better focus for my shooting situations. You'll need to evaluate it for your shooting situations and see if that's an issue. The a77 has an extra command dial. The a65 has the one here, and the a77 has another one back here, similar to my D7000 and a lot of the higher end DSLRs. Typically, I've always missed that dial. I must say that so far on the a65, I'm not really missing it. It works really well. You use the AEL button, which is right here beside the viewfinder, and that toggles it for, if say you're in manual mode and you want to go from shutter speed to aperture adjustment. Really quick, works very well. Not sure I'm actually going to miss it, but I might. So that's the second reason I might. And the other thing with the a77 is the a77 has a sync port, so you could, for instance, put your triggers on it for lighting. That is not on the a65. It doesn't have that sync port. So that is the third reason, which may be an issue for me. I typically don't use the sync port. I usually use the shoe mount. So far, I've had to use an adapter on the shoe because all my adapters are standard, and Sony has their, or all my triggers are standard, and Sony has their the proprietary shoe, so I have to have an adapter for that. I have ordered some other triggers that are Sony mount, so we'll see if that even is an issue for me with the sync, but that would be the third reason. The fourth reason would be build quality. So far, I'm very impressed with the build quality on the a65. However, the a77 is on spec a little bit more rugged, a little bit more metal in it, and obviously has a higher level camera, more of a semi-pro camera, probably better built for durability and for a little bit more use and abuse, especially for pros that might be knocking it around a little bit more. I think the shutter is higher rated as well on the a77, so that may be an issue for me, and it may not be. As I said, I'm leaning towards smaller bodies, just for size and weight of carrying around all day, specifically in a wedding situation. So again, something you'll need to evaluate for your own shooting needs. For me, I'm not sure if I'm going to need the a77. I may just want it, although it may be one of those things where it's a thing of beauty. I play with it, but I still like the smaller body. So anyways, those are the 4 reasons that I may want the a77 over the a65. And if there's anything else you could think of, let me know. Those are the 4 that seem the biggies to me. And let me know if there's any more I've missed that you think might be a huge thing, or what your thoughts are, you know, which way you're leaning on a65 or a77, or if you're not at all. So far, what I've seen, to give you a quick synopsis on image quality, is very good. Not as good at high ISO as my NEX5N or my D7000, but then again, you got a 24 megapixel sensor, so when you bring this image down to an equivalent size, you're getting a little cleaner that way, and certainly with the really good tools we have for noise reduction, not such an issue. If you're shooting in good light, I think the extra megapixels is really good. If you're looking for a really good low light camera, you might want something like the A55 or the NEX5N. Anyways, folks, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. We'll be back with some new video posts, some new articles. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of photography here at artoftheimage.com. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.